What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy, Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Sumner, Nevada. In here with my two co-hosts. First of all, man, the OG of the show, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spreader Star? How are you this morning?
Man, I'm excited. Football starts tomorrow night. We had a great weekend of college football last weekend, and I'm ready to find some winners this week.
And of course, the YG of the show, man, the youngest man to ever manage and operate a casino sportsbook on the Las Vegas Strip. My brother Cino Royale. What up, Cino?
Wow, what's up, Five Star? What's up, Spread? Another night in the wagering world, another day in the wagering world, shall I say. Um, just cashed on Mukova. Good morning. Football was amazing for us, Five Star. We started all over again, baby. I think I'm one up on you, two up on you, something like that. We talk about it later on.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah, you got me on
In
that
the
one. I can't
past.
wait to break that one down. I learned something, but just we don't take losses. We only
Take lessons.
take lessons, baby. You know, so it's just an L. That's all. Learned a lot from that game, and like I said, when we get to the past, we'll break it down. First of all, if you guys are tuned in right now to the Wagering World, we appreciate you. You are part of the Wagering World. You are what make the Wagering World. Hit the like button right now so we can get these algorithms going in our favor. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the show. Please put in the comments, I subscribe. If you screenshot it and send it to either myself, Cino Royale, or Spreader Stat, we will give you a free well play. We're undefeated on the well plays. I've been throwing out 10% plays, man, like they like they 1%, man. If you've been following me on X and taking advantage of it, you should be up on all of the free plays, man. We got smacked on the ball and parlay, unfortunately, man. I think everybody got smacked on that one. Can you believe that Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt?
Nah, the way they lost to Vanderbilt.
They
The way
should have
they
lost,
lost to
period. But
Vanderbilt.
I'm going to tell you something. I want to apologize to everyone who watches this show. I did something that I never do. I was arrogant and I blindly bet that game. I've been really studying Virginia Tech this offseason. I like Kyron Drones a lot. I think he can play in the NFL. I love their receivers. I love their running backs. Not too big on that coach. Brent Pryor, he's all right, as you see from the loss. I don't really like him as much, but they have so much talent. They had so many starters coming back from the previous year on both sides of the ball that I felt really confident, and I just went by Vanderbilt, by what was on their helmet and what's on their jersey over the years, and I did not go and see who they picked up in the transfer portal. Very lazy by me. I always say bad beat, bad break, bad handicap, horrible handicap by Five Star, man, because if I would have knew Diego Pavia was the quarterback for Vanderbilt, there's no way I would have gave up 2 touchdowns to that kid. Only people I'm going to give up that amount of touchdowns with him in the SEC is going to be Georgia and Bama, because Diego Pavia can play. We know that, right from New Mexico State.
Yeah, most definitely, man. He got some skill. And whenever they took that 17-0 lead, I'm like, game over. I knew it was over. I'm like, a couple field goals was missed and stuff like that. I'm like, no way in hell they gonna win. When the game come on the line, I already know what it was. And like you said, Drones, he ready for the NFL. It was time for him to step up. I definitely don't think they should have switched quarterbacks in overtime, let him, continue to play. But it was what it was. We lost that by one leg. We move on.
I think he got hurt, man. I think he got injured. I think he couldn't go the last play because they put in, I forgot the kid they put in. He's got a lot of playing time, but he was cold coming off the bench. And, man, Pop is one of those guys that just brings electricity, man. Just serious electricity to the game, man. Lazy ass handicap by me on that one. But we move on. So now today we got to clean the board for these guys on this ball and parlay. Spread, let's get up in the 1967 Stingray and let's float to the past.
All right, and Five-Star, rough weekend for me as well. As I lost Clemson, final score 34-3, and I know a lot of people are going to say, "What, Clemson sucks? Clemson this." I think Georgia just might be really good. That was my takeaway from that game. I didn't feel like I overestimated Clemson. I feel like I underestimated Georgia. Georgia looks pretty good so far. What do you guys think? Start with you, Five-Star. What do you think of that beat down that Georgia put on Clemson?
My handicap for that game was only the first half. I don't know why I ended up giving the full game too and made it a split. On Jay Money Show Thursday, I gave out just the first half. And I knew the first half was the play on that one because, as we know, Dabo Swinney comes out with a really good game plan. They know how to keep the game close early. Their defense was, not tired yet. They hadn't worn down. But I knew if this game kept going, that Georgia would leave them in the second half, man. Clemson got to do something with their skill position. They just don't have any really good receivers or running backs, man. Not anyone who moves the needle. I do like number 0 for them at wideout, but he doesn't have anyone to get him the ball, man. Cade Klubnik is very mediocre a quarterback for them. Now having the Clemson, they have a run of some great quarterbacks. You get Deshaun Watson in there, you get Lawrence in there, and then now they fail on Uongali by putting all their chips into him. He doesn't live up to the billing. He isn't as good as a college quarterback as he was in high school. First NIL guy too. A lot of people don't know that the first guy who I think got paid from NIL was Uongali with Dr. Pepper. He got a sponsorship from them before his freshman year at Clemson, but he fails, and now they come in with Cade Klubnik. He was highly touted coming out of Texas, but man, he has not lived up to the business. So Dabo Swinney, you better find your quarterback if you're going to make any noise again for the playoff.
Sino, what did you think of that game? Georgia looked pretty good.
Georgia looked amazing. Clemson looked sloppy. Well, we cashed first half. We had 21 and a half, something of that nature. It was 6-0 at the
24 and a half, you call it.
Yeah, it was 24 and a half. It was something. It was just
Easy,
6-0.
easy.
That's all. Yeah, it
Yeah.
don't matter. You could have took the alternate line. That was no sweat. And 5-star, you won your side too in the first half. I seen some people on Twitter were saying they parlayed that. That was real, real cool. Carson Beck, he looked kind of nervous. Then he stepped up. I think they had some butterflies, man. For them to come out and finish the game 34-3, and it's 6-0 at the half. That was insane. So I think Georgia's still a powerhouse. I don't see them losing the game at home this year. Should be easy money line every time they play, and that's what I seen in that game.
Best D line that I've seen this weekend. So we'll see how things continue out. It was only 1 week. Deion Sanders in Colorado survived against North Dakota State. Your thoughts on the Buffaloes and Shedeur Sanders? Man, he's looking pretty good in there. He's definitely going to be a top 5 pick in my opinion.
He is a top 5 pick. He has the formula that we really like spread, and that's coming from a non-traditional as the quarterback. We know what those guys face each week, dealing with the type of offensive line and skill positions that around them they learn to make do. And that benefits all of those type of guys that come from those type of programs later on when they get in the pros and play with real athletes that have elite level skills. So Shedeur, he just proved himself more as being the first quarterback taken. Did you see that throw? I reposted it, man. I had to do a video on it. It was so nice, man. He stood in the pocket. He got pressure coming right up the gut on him. He doesn't move, stays on his platform, gets on his toes, and just with a flick of a wrist throws a 40-yard dime to his receiver. I believe that was Horn that caught that one. And he takes it to the house. But, man, Shedeur Sanders is very impressive. What I didn't like is Coach Prime, man. Coach Prime got to step it up, man. All the stuff that people are saying about him that I always try to defend him on starting to show his ugly head. And that's poor clock management, man. Just some bad coaching at the end of the game. It's no way that North Dakota State's supposed to touch that ball again. Maybe with 5 seconds left, but even if they're smart enough to just let Shedeur, fade back and fall back and waste about 10 seconds and fall down, they can run the clock off with knees. Instead, they take a shot. I don't know if they're trying to cover or not. They said Shedeur has free reign at the line, so he called a play because he saw one-on-one coverage on the outside. But just a horrific job of finishing that game. They could have easily lost that game, as you saw. North Dakota State caught the ball at the end with a Hail Mary. They just weren't in the end zone. Cam Miller didn't have a strong enough arm to get it to the end zone, but he's a scrappy little player. Colorado better clean some things up when they go to Nebraska. Do you know that Shedeur Sanders had a 30% pressure rate on his dropbacks? That's horrible. Every time he's dropping back, someone's in his face. And with that said, he still was 7-9 with 165 yards and 2 touchdowns under pressure. I just feel like coach has to do a better job, man. And I hate how he's handling Travis Hunter. Like, Travis Hunter's playing way too many plays, man. 136 plays out of 140 is ridiculous, man. That's just too many plays at this level of football. This isn't Pee Wee League, Coach Sanders. I know you want to highlight this guy. You want to make him look good, but the thing is, Travis Hunter is the best two-way player, but he's also the best cornerback in the country and probably a top 5 wide receiver. It makes no sense for him to be getting all these wasted downs. Some downs aren't important enough. Have packages for him. Decide which side of the ball you're going to use and which one he would benefit the Buffaloes better this season, and let him stay there and run most of the snaps there and put in packages for other stuff. He was even playing special teams, man. They got to get that kid a break because he's going to wear down in the season. He's going to end up getting injured, man. I don't know why coach is doing that. I don't care if Travis is telling him that he wants to do it. He has to be smart enough to, say, nah, we're not doing that. Another quick thing before I pass to Cino, stop telling me that Carson Beck is the #1 quarterback over Shedeur Sanders on X. Stop that mess, man. Carson Beck is driving a Maybach.
Ah.
And Shedeur Sanders is driving a Fusion on Forgiatos. The Forgiatos he's sitting on, that happen to be Travis Hunter. He's the Forgiatos, but the rest of that car is raggedy. It's a piece of trash that's going to break down any second. So for him to have them in contention like he does, if we had Shedeur Sanders on Georgia team, he would break every record in the SEC, man. They have special talent over there. The only person who would probably even play for Georgia off Colorado's team is Travis. And Kirby Smart would be smart enough to only play him at cornerback and probably have a couple plays for him at receiver offense. He'd be the #1 cornerback in the country for Georgia right now if he was over there. All of the pieces that they have over there are just leaps and bounds ahead of Colorado. So stop comparing these two quarterbacks when they're dealing with completely different teams and different hands, different coaches. I just think Shedeur Sanders proved himself, and I'm really excited to see this matchup coming up as he takes on a really good freshman quarterback, Dylan Raiola, in Nebraska.
Cino, Colorado, your thoughts?
Man, I keep it real short. 5-star. Shedeur actually threw for 445 yards that game.
Yeah.
Both touchdowns, and I got to talk about this pass that he threw to Travis Hunter. And that man caught that football.
When he told him to catch it, I don't care.
That might be one of the greatest catches that I ever seen. USC had a good catch the other night over LSU. I don't think that was a catch when the guy one-handed and brought it back down. I don't think that was a catch, but that Travis Hunter play was definitely a catch. It was a touchdown. Also, that showed me that Travis Hunter is. You said top 5, he's top 2, and I don't think he's top 2. If you put him on any other team, he'd still be that player, and he wouldn't even have to work as hard as he is. And I'm like, you 5, you should be smart, man. You're already driving a little Fusion. It's only gonna get so many miles. And you're going to the big league. You got to go get around all those other Rolls Royces. You're going to jump out that Fusion one day, and you're going to be pushing the Rolls Royce if you're going to crash your Fusion. You got to stay healthy, man, and he's doing too much. And Prime know how that go. Like, you can't win each other out like that. So, from what I've seen in that game, Shedeur, he the future. Travis Hunter, the future. If he stay good, Colorado, they looking shaky. No way in hell that game should have been close to that team, especially in the season opener. They should have blown them out, but it is what it is. Like I said, move on.
Fred, what's your opinion of Colorado? I know that you're one of those guys. You have no bias in this. You're just going to call it how you see it. What do you see out of Colorado?
I mean, they obviously have some nice skill players on offense, and they're going to be able to score. Do they have the defense to really be a good team?
The defense played good, Spread. They held
against North Dakota State,
but North Dakota State is good, man. North Dakota State not trash, man. They're not trash. They held them to 3 yards to carry, so that's one thing.
So we'll see how it goes. I just worry against the top-notch teams that they just won't be able to get the stops, and they'll end up being shootouts. And I think it'll be fun to watch.
Right.
But that's what really I think separates them from being a top-notch team. And maybe I'm just biased, and I'll use this as a transition after watching Georgia. And then that Notre Dame defense, man, 23-13 win over Texas A&M. And it was the same thing I felt about Clemson. I know a lot of people rush to Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it, and say that A&M QB is a bust. And my mind was like, what if that Notre Dame defense is just that good? It looked like a top 5 defense to me. I mean, it wasn't on the level of Georgia, but it was to me the very next tier. And I want to see how A&M looks against a team that's not so sharp. And I think that Marcus Freeman, man, I think that's a great to lose Brian Kelly. You really thought that they were going to go downhill, and I think that he stepped in there seamlessly. I thought that Notre Dame defense looked real good. I'm not ready to write off yet. I think the Notre Dame's really good on defense. What did you think of that game? Because I just came away saying this is a top 5 defense in college football, and this is going to be a tough out for anybody.
I was in and out on them because it was such a damn boring game because the defenses both were playing really well. The defenses on both teams are far ahead of the offenses. So we saw that. I know as an LSU fan, and I'm sure Cino agree with me, Boy, we wish they would have kept Brian Kelly. We would have got Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman at
Jesus
LSU.
Christ,
Oh my God, he would be ridiculous, right?
man. I don't even want to talk about the LSU game,
Bro,
bro.
Marcus Freeman would be ridiculous with the way he coaches defense because a lot of it is Notre Dame talent, but it's also he has a great schematic approach to every game defensively. He's one of the brightest minds we're going to see. We'll talk about also USC defensive coordinator because he might be better than Marcus Freeman, Anthony Lynn's kid. But, man, A&M, they'll win a lot of games this year. First of all, I want to say something to the A&M fan base. Not my boy Todd Ferguson, who runs ESPN 975. Good guy. Todd will never do anything like that. He's a good dude. But the rest of the A&M fan base, man, I've been down there with you guys, man. You guys are some real a-holes. You should not be giving Connor Wegman all the hell that you're giving him just because he's on the video chilling and talking to the magician and talking in a little accent that he probably used around his teammates. Yeah, they probably his homies, his brothers. He's from the side of town of Houston that my little brother grew up on, Cypress, in Cypress, Texas. As you know, so Cypress is a mixed area, man. There's a lot of multi-race people. I remember when my mom, God bless her soul, was alive and lived in Cypress way back in the 80s. Our next door neighbor, when I come in the summer, my little brother's next door neighbor was an Indian on one side, a Native American on one side, black family across the side, and all the rest like white people down the street. So it was just a nice melting pot of people all hanging together, all just, enjoying life and making money and trying to be a middle-class family. Leave that Connor Wigman alone, man. Leave this kid alone because he has a little accent and he might was, talking in this little slang the way that he talks when he's with the homies, because he probably listens to hip-hop. He's a young kid. Stop doing that. It seems very racist, man, on you guys' part when you drive this kid for the way he's speaking because you're trying to say he's trying to act black. He's not trying to act black. He's being himself. And he probably has friends and they talk like that with each other. He's in front of his teammates, and that's how they kick it. I know plenty of guys, white dudes who played on the team with me when I played football in high school. They'll jump in mode and play around with us and get the little rap tone and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with it. He just being himself, man. Like, he doesn't owe you guys anything. It's not a certain way that you have to talk or act to be a starting quarterback. So get off of that, man. Lamar Jackson keeps being himself, true to himself. I haven't seen him have any problems in college or the pros. He's one of the most liked athletes in America by not only the league, his teammates, and the people who run the league. So you guys leave Connor Wegman alone, man. If he want to talk like that, if he want to be power wild, let him be. Worry about his play. If you're going to attack him for how he play, do that. But stop with all this. I'm seeing all these message boards and stuff where they're talking about, he want to be black and why is he talking like that? And he sounds dumb. And I heard he was a weed head. Leave that kid alone, man. This kid is 19 years old, 20 years old, man. And he's from Houston. So he grew up around rap and hip hop. Leave him alone, man. As far as on the field, Notre Dame is good. But Notre Dame is going to struggle because their transfer quarterback, he can't throw the ball. He's a tough kid, the kid from Duke. He's tough as hell. Leonard. Yeah. Riley Leonard, tough as hell. He's not a good passer, though, man. What you seen on the Cino?
I don't know. I think he had a good game. 5 stars to say that was his debut. Like, you just transferring and you playing on the road.
He's tough as hell.
Gone up in Texas A&M and you are underdog. Like, and you went out right like that. But also, that kid Jeremiah Love, that running back, his name. He tough as hell, man. He's super, super tough. And got that side right, 2 5 stars. Said I think they were fighting Irish would win.
Good call on them. We were just previewing. You guys like them. I like them because they were at home. And I think if Wegman makes a couple plays in the passing game, they really had control of the game in the fourth quarter. But Notre Dame, man, they took off at the end.
Yeah, and it was tough. I'm like you though, man. If we had old Marcus Freeman, it come down to coaching. They different. And I'm like you. I think they're struggling in the end. Riley Leonard, that probably was just a little hype, and we see what he do.
Yeah, not surprised that Cino once again loving the team out of Notre Dame. Let's see how far you can ride them and how many units you can rack up on the back of the Golden Dome.
You like Notre Dame too in that game spread.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying Cino, like in my mind now, I got Cino and Notre Dame just right together, right? He just feels like an honorary Notre Dame fan with as much as he backs them.
Cino always make me proud. He's a hell of a captain, man. He can pick game right at it, man.
Another game he picked correctly was that Penn State game, although it was a little wacky with the delay. Cino, we'll start with you here. What did you see going into that game, and how much did you feel that played out on the field?
To be honest, when the game first started, I was nervous as hell. I was nervous, and the weather was kind of bad and stuff like that. So to be honest, I stopped watching. I just started looking at the live lines, and it was just going up and down. I seen it get to like 4.5. I just turned it off, and it was a weather delay or something like that. I didn't even think the game was going to continue.
That was your biggest bet of the
Yeah,
weekend,
it
wasn't
was.
it?
Yep, it
Yeah.
was a max, and I didn't watch it because right now where I'm at with the betting and stuff like that. To be honest, y'all, I just go back and watch the highlights and stuff like that because it make my nerves bad. I have a lot of stuff going on, and it is what it is. I can't change the results. Whatever happened, gonna happen. And
There you go.
I be screaming at the TV and stuff like that. As long as I know I put the work in, like Five Star said, I do my homework. I'm not picking this out my ass. I'm doing something to be, winning at the rate I am. But 5 star, I told you the men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yeah.
I just got to keep riding my PSU trend, and again, I'll be on them next week.
I watched up until the delay. I don't know if you caught after the delay, but Penn State looked pretty good. I didn't really have much takeaways. I was watching on the 4 box, and it wasn't the closest game. Georgia had more of attention because at that point, that game was still close.
Yeah, that game.
What did you see in that Penn State game?
Drew Aller. He's the difference. You know how I cap. We cap completely different. You guys both use a lot of, data, a lot of numbers and things like that. You guys know I watch every game. If I don't even watch it, I'm not betting
Ain't
it.
gonna bet
So
on
I
it.
know these guys, and Drew Aller sucked last year. He had good numbers against sorry teams, but against, really good teams, he didn't play well. But I didn't factor in that he played well last year against West Virginia, so that confidence was there. So I'm not gonna buy all the way into him yet. I was tweeting that, man, if Aller's playing like this, man, he could be a first round draft pick. Man, they could, actually have a chance to win the conference. But I gotta see, man, because West Virginia did not look prepared for this game, and I did not factor in something that Sino brought up with them. The way the Penn State attacks the first game, how they play well at the beginning of the season. Franklin has them ready, unlike Brian Kelly. Every
Yes,
every
yes.
opening week, he has those guys ready to play. What I really noticed was how physical Penn State looked compared to West Virginia. You looked like a varsity team against a JV team. If you just looked around the field, and I told you about the running backs for Penn State. They got two of the best running backs in the country together, man. Singleton is a beast. Allen didn't even go off really like he could have. Singleton went off so bad, but they got a really good team, man. And they always got receivers. You got Wallace went for 117 yards. When I knew the game was over was right before halftime when Penn State went down the field in like 30 seconds and got 6. Remember, they got the ball back right before the half. Drew Aller hits a 20-yard in route, get to like the 50, hits a 20-yard out route, and then they throw a fade route, an unbelievable catch by Wallace, man, and Penn State gets in the end zone. Those Nittany lines were impressive. Maybe West Virginia is falling off. Maybe they're not as good as I thought they were going to be. I look forward to see how Penn State plays, in conference play. But I can tell you one thing, they were really impressive. In fact, they were the most impressive Big Ten team to me on the weekend outside of USC, man. That defense is ridiculous.
So weird hearing that.
Yeah, right?
USC, the impressive Big Ten team. Let's move into that game, guys. Did you guys go down and watch it live, or was that a sportsbook game for you?
No, I ended up watching half of it and leaving.
I did.
At the stadium?
Yeah, man, we left, man. I wasn't standing there for that mess. I went down there about, I said, maybe like 3 o'clock or something like that. And it was kicked off at 4. Got in, got seated and everything. And it's just, I was surrounded by too many USC people where my seats was at. And I was like, man, I got money on this game. It's about to get janky. I could tell how it was going. Remember, I told you I didn't bet the game until I bet it live. I waited and went inside. After USC scored first, I jumped in on LSU and took them live just to win, just to win the game. I think it was a minus 110 or something like that. And, boy, when I got in the car and put it on my phone the rest of the way, I was upset. That's all I'm going to tell you. Just a horrible job by Brian Kelly again. There's no way they're supposed to lose that game. There's no way. They're down 20-17 with the ball with 2 minutes left. This is the play of the game. Nussheimer has Anderson in the flats on 2nd and 8. Right after the 2-minute warning, he's in the flats. The OC for LSU did a horrible job, in my opinion. He didn't stretch the field. He didn't get the ball to Kyron Lacy enough. C.J. Daniels didn't get one long pass, and that's what he was brought there for, to stretch the defense. They didn't go over the top of him one time. Mason Taylor could have ate over the middle all game. Just a terrible job by the coaching staff for LSU on the offensive side of the ball. But he does make one really good play call in the most crucial moment of the game, and that was 2nd and 8 after the 2-minute warning. LSU's threatening there inside the 20 in the red zone. Anderson, who's quick as hell, twitchy athlete, great player, is in the flats, wide open. Nussmeier throws and hits him in the feet. He would have got about 15 yards, and LSU would have made USC start having to use their timeouts. USC probably doesn't touch the ball anymore. LSU probably scores 24-20, and maybe USC gets the ball back with 15, 20 seconds left if they get it back at all. After that bad pass by Nussmeier, the next play they run another pass in place, incomplete. They settle for the field goal. I knew it was over right then. I knew it was over right then. Moss is a good quarterback for USC. He's a system quarterback. He's the type of quarterback that Lincoln Riley loves. You've seen it for years at Oklahoma when he was the OC at Texas Tech. He's a quarterback kind of like he was, and that's what he likes, a quarterback that's going to just go by the reads that he teaches them. He's going to play within the offense. He's going to put the ball where it's supposed to be at and use the athletes around him. That's what Miller Mouse does. Last year, a lot of smart guys are saying this. I agree with them. A lot of people don't agree, but I agree. They're a much better team without Caleb Williams. Lincoln Riley was kind of showcasing him last year. He wasn't really running his offense. It was just like Caleb drop back and do what he want to do. Well, now they're running Lincoln Riley's offense. And you remember before this game, I didn't bet it because I told you guys that Fort wasn't any good. I knew it because Lincoln Riley is a really good coach. And Brian Kelly has shown over the years that he's horrible at the beginning of the year. So I knew that USC would be fired up and ready. The MVP for USC wasn't even on the field as a player. He was their defensive coordinator. They call him Anton Lynn, but he's really Anthony Lynn Jr. That's his real name. That's Anthony Lynn, who used to coach the Chargers, his son. He's going to be a dynamite coach. I don't know if he's going to coach a college team, but most likely I'm thinking he's going to end up in the NFL. He probably stay with USC this 1 year, go to the NFL in a defensive coordinator for a couple of years for someone, and then he'll be a head coach. He's on that type of path. He's 34 years old. The type of intensity and the type of physicality we saw at USC we haven't seen since the Pete Carroll days. They were blowing LSU linemen up. They have some really good front seven players at USC, and the scheme was excellent by Anton Lynn. Looking forward, we already saw USC schedule. It's very doable. You know, they have some tough Big Ten games, but they don't have the hardest schedule. LSU, easy schedule. They might not lose another game this season until they face Georgia and Alabama, because Alabama look good. I think I told you know how I feel about Alabama's coach, Caleb DeBoer. I've been a fan of his since he was the assistant coach, offensive coordinator in Indiana. So I think that he's going to give LSU hell until we get rid of Brian Kelly. But I think LSU has a normal season, so, you know, lose 2 games and go to a good bowl game.
Win everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously another disappointing start for LSU. Talk to me about what you think of the ceiling is for USC, because obviously they have to be excited with that start, one of the biggest upset. Even though it's small point spread, it felt like it was one of the biggest upset wins of the weekend.
Yeah, everybody was excited. The media, as soon as I turned on TV, that's all you see. Woo, woo, woo. I didn't go to the game because I had a nice amount. I had a nice amount on it, man, and I hate going to events, and you know I get salty when it comes to it. That's why I'm at with it right now. So you know I just figure to move better and make better decisions with the money and stuff like that. But LSU, 5-star. Next game, Nichols. They should blow them out, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll be on them next game.
It should blow them.
Lacey is probably the best receiver in the country.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, and we knew that from last year from watching them that he could ball. You saw Jaden Daniels tweeted it. He's at the game on the sideline trying to tell them like
Jaden Daniels, the way he was acting. He listened to the Wagering world.
Man, hey, feed number 2. And man, when I was watching that game, about to cut you off, you know, this is what you said, the media thing. Oh my God, the media has made me sick this week talking about USC. They're so happy because when you're an LSU fan or anything down south, we know this, you know, from being in Louisiana, Houston, our whole life. Boy, they don't want to see you win because the whole press and media are all LA boys, New York boys. And all they care about is those teams. Their fans and their fandom shows when they start writing. And boy, they are on the SEC right now. They're so happy that USC is supposed to be quote unquote back and that they got this victory. But the coldest thing about this game, this is what I knew the books was involved. So, you know, why did they take a knee and put it in the middle of the field and kick a field goal?
Man, why first drive of the game you get in the red zone, you go for it, you don't take the 3 points.
That's
Come on,
one.
come
But
on
at
now.
the end of the game, it's 9 seconds left. Spread. Don't you find it kind of shady that Lincoln Riley runs the ball? Instead, it takes a chance of a fumble. And more troubling was that LSU just said, Olay, and let them score a touchdown. And guess
Touchdown.
what it did? Knocked out all the weekend teasers. That was the
Yeah.
last teaser for everyone who teased LSU to +4. They lost because of that touchdown.
Yeah, and if they was like you bet LSU in game, they went to +2.5. If you bought it up and got 3.5, you was gonna win. They like, hell,
Yep.
nah, we killing everything. Let's go.
They killed everything. They killed everything moving. Before we get to the present spread, let's hit Boston College
I
game.
was gonna say, I got one more for you. Talk
Yeah.
about killing the game. Cam Ward, Miami. I know we got to be quick because we've gone a while, but talk to me. We talked about it on Thursday with Houston Stresson. You guys think
Yeah.
Cam Ward might be the best quarterback in college football? That kind of piqued my eyes. I liked what I saw, man. Talk to me about Cam Ward and that easy win that Miami got.
Y'all know how I feel about Cam Ward. You know how I felt about Graham Mertz. It all played out perfectly because we've been quarterbacks. The one thing about Cristobal, we've seen it before with him. He might can't coach, but boy, he can put some real killers on that field. And boy, that defensive line for Miami, trouble. I'm telling you, I'm gonna let you finish it up, Sino, because I know you was heavy on Miami with me.
Now at 5 star, that's another game. I promise I didn't watch. Didn't watch it at all. A lot of people was asking because I was heavy on Notre Dame too. I'm not
Well,
even
you
lying.
wouldn't have been stressing, man. That was an easy win, wire to wire. They got
And I
out
was
early.
pissed because I wanted to bet them first half. And usually when I make bets, I always like to think of the OGs, and one of them that always come to mind is 5 star. And I got some text messages and stuff that I could show and share too. We had BC money line 5 star.
Of course, man, you had them. You know, I gave it out. I gave it out for free. I had to.
Let's talk about that. Florida State, felt like they were unfairly left out of the Final Four last year. Don't even bother sending any players, lose that bowl game. Now they're on a 3-game losing streak if you count last season. What's going on with the Seminoles?
You know what's going on, DJ Uungalele. Spread. I've been
Do you think he
more.
makes it through the season?
No, he'll be on the bench next game probably if he's smart. I'm thinking now at this point, Coach Norvell doesn't have anyone he trusts. And I seen the guys that was kind of like around. You know, he had a little quarterback group, and I didn't see anyone impressed about that group. But I saw them all talking. He made a mistake, man. He's gonna have a bad season this year. It's gonna take away all the work that he's put together over there because he ended up running into a really good situation by having Jordan Travis there when he arrived. Jordan Travis was already a Seminole when Coach Norvell pulled up. I don't think that he did was just lace him up on his fundamentals, but Jordan Travis was already a baller, so he didn't have to get a quarterback. When he got DJ Uungalele, I said, man, this guy hasn't watched any film on this dude. He's about
to me, it's just you're overconfident and you think it almost
I
like
can fix him. He
yeah,
has
like
all
the
tools.
homie that gets with the stripper. I can fix her. No,
I
you
can
can't,
fix
bro.
her.
It's over.
That's how he thought, because I've been at war with Florida State fans all the way since January when they first signed him up under the tweet, where they were all celebrating like, "Ooh, we're gonna win the national championship.
Yeah.
We got DJ Uungalele." I said, "You guys are about to be horrible. You're not even going to the bowl game." And everybody was just on me like, "You a hater. You don't know ball." I said, "Okay." Okay. I told people when this guy first left from Clemson, the only place that he should have went is to play for Jackson State or Grambling or somebody. He should have played
God,
for
bro.
HBCU because that's the only where he would have shined at. He's too slow. His windup takes way too long on delivery. He sees the field so late, and then he can't throw. He's inaccurate. Like the only passes he completed screen passes. So I don't know what happened. Maybe he got too much money early. I saw a Circle K commercial. He was going to get a drink. He had the double cup. So maybe he's sipping or something. You know that sipping to take him out. We see that happen. But
Bringing back
Jamarcus
bad
Russell,
memories.
yeah, we used to sell him drink. So I know he was drinking.
5
He used to
star.
pull up the Players Club on us on the West and buy drinks. So we know he's sipping. Man. Something has happened with DJ Uungalele. His father is a really good dude, really, strong figure in his life. maybe needs to tell him to go to law school or something because football not going to work. He got a little brother who's playing for Oregon on the defensive line. He played really good this week, but I don't know what happened. We've never seen such a drastic fall because the first game that Ungalele started against Notre Dame, I thought he was going to be a star when Clemson went to Notre Dame, and man, he's falling all the way off since then.
No.
One quick thought on we talked about the Florida State side. We didn't give enough props to Coach Booty Chin, B.O.B. Bill O'Brien did his thing. Me and Sino kind of talked about this game. That's why I went and gave him the video. I knew they couldn't jack me out this one, Sino. It was impossible because if you've been watching Boston College over the years, they have a really good quarterback. Look, Castellanos can play. He's fast, he's quick, and I knew that with B.O.B. coaching him, he's going to get the best play calls, and he's going to work on him with his fundamentals daily at practice. He looks sharp. Boston College and Georgia Tech a good team. So Florida State lost to two good teams, but I used to Florida State being a good team. They're below average this year.
Move to the present 5-star. The NFL kicks off tomorrow night. A rematch of the AFC Championship game where the Kansas City Chiefs went into Baltimore and got the win en route to winning the Super Bowl. Now they're going to run it back. They're going to run it back in Kansas City. The teams look a little different too. Kansas City loses L'Jarius Sneed. I think that's a pretty big deal, but that's the only loss. They're kind of moving back into their old ways of playing football. They added some offensive weapons. Hollywood Brown, I think he's going to be a big help. He's not going to be out there. However, new speedster Xavier Worthy is, and we get a more veteran version of Rashee Rice. I wonder if Kelsey's going to sit out the regular season like he did last year, NBA style, or just wait for the playoffs, or he'll be big right off the bat. And the final thing on the Ravens, adding Derrick Henry, to me, that's a big plus. Losing Mike McDonald, to me, that's a big minus. Your thoughts here on the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs?
I'll be on Mahomes. You know me. This is the first game of the season. Last year they lost to Detroit because they came in to this game like Detroit. Like they can't believe that they put them on the schedule. They took them lightly. And Detroit, took them to the whooping shed. That's not happening this year. They're going to be really focused against the Ravens. All I'm seeing over social media is everybody tweeting that Lamar is undefeated. He's 12-0 as a dog and all of this stuff. And I don't care. It's just numbers at the end of the day. I'm betting on football, and I like the new weapons that Kansas City has. And I also feel like this is a statement game. Kansas City has something to play for this season. They have a new motivation. They could be the first team to go three-peat. They could pull off a Chicago Bulls. Mahomes wants to do that bad. He's a real sports historian. He knows Brady has never done it. He knows that the only athletes who've really done it in the modern era has been Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He wants to be mentioned with those type of names. So I expect the Chiefs to get off to a fast start this season by winning their first game home, and I believe that they covered them the 3 points.
So, a big shock in that AFC Championship game was the Ravens abandoning what got them to the AFC Championship, and that was dominating the line of scrimmage and running the football. You got to think that they're going to try and get back. Maybe a little bit of overcorrection here. That's one reason I'm looking towards the under in this game is I think the Ravens really got to recommit to that run because if you're a Ravens fan, you had to be watching the AFC Championship game like, what are we doing? This isn't our style of football. Your thoughts on the side and the total?
Spread. You took the words out my mouth. Definitely, we're gonna be on the under the start. And everybody want to talk about the numbers and stuff. I'm a numbers guy, so no Lamar Jackson is undefeated, and I think he's 13-0 or 9-4 overall against the spread as an underdog. But the defending Super Bowl champions, they're 13-5. Coming in, and Patrick Mahomes is one of the guys that lost one of those 5 games. And how 5-star said, I think Patty, they coming out with a different mind frame this year, but I don't think they're gonna be ready the first game. I think I'm on the opposite side with you. I'm on the opposite side of you for this one 5-star. So I'll be rolling with the Baltimore Ravens and the under on this game right here. Derrick Henry, new weapon, a lot of ground and pound. Again, Lamar, he uses his legs a lot. So I'm leaning under with you, spread, a lot of clock killing, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, we agree on the under, but I'm going to be on that Kansas City side as well. I want to know if you guys are betting this game because I'm telling you what, I'm not. And I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. These international games are wacky. Then we throw in this new X factor where the stadium is like completely covered in smoke. And it's not like the little smoke they played in San Francisco a couple years ago. I mean, it looks terrible from what I've seen. Now, maybe, you you know how it is with these media. Maybe they're making it look worse than it really is. But I don't want to get involved in this game, man. I heard that these players, they're not even leaving their hotel rooms for fear of robbery. It just seems like a wacky way to start, and I can see anything happening. 5-star, if I sit this one out, which is what I'm planning to do, do you think I'm leaving money on the table? How you approach this one?
No one's really talking about touching this game. I think every respected bettor around the country is on the same, thought process as you. I know I have it. I can't figure that game out for anything. The public betting tells me that the Eagles are probably the side, but the problem is you guys know how I feel about Jordan Love. I like to look at what the public is doing and fade the public, but I also love to, bet quarterbacks and coaches. I like the combination better on the Green Bay side of Jordan Love. I like the combination better of Jordan Love and Mike LaFleur than I do on the other side with the Eagles with Hurts and Sirianni. That's just what it is. Hurts is limited. He's always been limited. When he came into the league, I comped him to Dak Prescott, and I still feel like that's going to be his comp. He's the type of quarterback. He's serviceable. He's going to win you some games, but at the end of the day, there's some things he can't do on the field. I think he had a really good season that year. They lost in the Super Bowl to the Kansas City. The offense was unbelievable, but the league catches up. We know that after Super Bowls, teams struggle usually the next year, so we'll throw that in, in the bowl as well and mix it all together. But with that said, I just like the Packers. I think the Packers are going to win the NFC this year and go to the Super Bowl. But I don't know how they start because everybody's been on the offseason. Jordan Love just got paid. How does he react to getting money for the first time? We see Jalen Hurts kind of fell off last year when he got paid. So we'll see how that goes. But I am a big fan of the floor. I'm a huge fan of those Packers wide receivers. I think that they can make some plays down the field on the Eagles. We got a really high total on that one, guys, 49. And you say with bad conditions, I'm sure the field probably is going to be horrible, the turf and stuff. So this is a way to see for me. I'll probably jump in live after I get a feel for it.
Cena, are you betting this game?
I'm with 5-star. I jump in on it live. The players, they expressing safety and stuff like that. I don't know how the coaches and everybody feel. They might just want to get the hell up out of here. Let's just ground and pound, throw the ball.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, just keep the ball in.
On my show I did with Tyler, we were thinking of just taking the overs on the running backs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just because they want to get up out of there.
Take a Jacobs over and take a Barkley over and call it a day.
Yeah, they don't want to be that. But I'm with 5-star also on the side, especially after I seen Jordan Love erupt the second half of the season last year. He's ready. He got that big contract. I think he's going to step up. Hurts, he's one of my favorite players from Alabama. He's a winner. But I think he's just going through some things right now. He's not where he wants to be in the NFL. And I know how players like that, feel. Because just being a man, certain things right there get to you. And he's just fighting that mental right now. He shaved all his facial hair and stuff like that. So I'm like, he going through something. But the Eagles will get it together. So in that game right there, I go with the under.
Hey, my final thoughts on Hurts, man. I think they got to drop back on that tush push. You got your quarterback in the pit of the offensive line on those plays. You know how dirty it gets in there. Yeah. I think his shoulder was really banged up towards the end of the year, and that's where I think the addition of Barkley will help him have a better season because I felt like he was carrying that injury, and we could see it in his accuracy towards the end of the year. Still not ready to evaluate how he's going to be to start the season, but I think the addition of Barkley could help his longevity.
Honestly, I'll probably be on first half money line Packers. I think the Packers money line is probably like plus 130 or something. Just because I like their quick strike ability, I think that LaFleur usually comes out with a great game plan. So, and we know in the past, the Eagles have shown last year that they were playing better in the second half, kind of like they flip-flopped. The year that they went to the Super Bowl, they were a really good first-half team. They weren't a good first-half team last year. So unless I see something different, I'll probably be on the Packers just the first half, plus 1.5, probably money line. Matter of fact, I'm going to make that an official play. I'm on the Packers first half, plus 1.5.
All right, 5-star jumping in that game. All right, let's move into college football as we have action on Friday night. BYU's catching 10.5 points against 2-0 SMU. BYU coming off that win over Southern Illinois in week 1. 5-star, how do you see this game playing down?
Too many points. I mean, Sataki for BYU is a really good coach. He knows how to keep games close. He's going to, keep a balanced offense that can go deep and run the ball and pound it. Usually have a defense that's not athletic, but they do swarm to the ball. SMU home game, Preston Stone. He's good, but he's coming off an injury. He has Harris breathing down his neck, so we know he can't make any mistakes or he's going to be put on the bench. I do like the coach Brett Lashley, but what I saw in the Nevada game was that SMU still has a ways to go to be the type of program that preseason people think that they were going to be. So points, I got to gobble them up. It's a Friday night game. I'm sure they'll be hyping Dallas, but at the end of the day, BYU has a solid coach. If they get good quarterback play, I haven't seen their quarterback play, so I'm betting this one blind, or at least giving my lean on it blind, because I have not watched tape on BYU. They used to keep a decent quarterback. His numbers look like they were pretty good last week. We know he was facing SIU. Southern Illinois is pretty good in their division of football, but playing against a FBS school, you don't expect much from them. But the quarterback did perform pretty well last week for BYU. He went for 20 or 30, 348, and 3 touchdowns, which means he must be pretty competent, So I have to take those points just because I really love Sataki, who's the coach for BYU, and I like what he develops over there. So I'll be on the points with BYU in this one.
Cena, we got a game that's a little closer in the point spread as Duke is catching 2.5 at Northwestern. Another Friday night game. How are you approaching that one, Cena?
Me and my people on Northwestern last week. That was an easy win. And I feel Duke and Northwestern, they both did enough, in their respective games. We appreciate the results, nice wins. But Malik Murphy, 5-star, we was just talking about this off air. I think the kid from Texas, man, I'm with you, 5-star, after looking at the numbers and stuff like that. Duke might be the right side.
Yeah.
He looked good in his debut. And again, these debut and transfer quarterbacks right now, they're doing what they're supposed to do. So I think Duke is the play, 5-star.
Duke is definitely the play, and I'm glad I was able to talk you into it because Malik Murphy, one thing, this was his first game. It's a home game, new offense, but their head coach isn't an offensive-minded guy. Manny Diaz is about defense. So Malik Murphy is going to have to figure it out his own, but he has the tools and the talent to do it. He's 6'5", runs like a 4'5", big, strong dude, can throw it a country mile, and they have a skill position guys for Duke. So I think that Duke puts up enough points. It's going to be low scoring. We know that the play on this one is most likely the under. Like the under 37.5 is pretty much a golden ticket on this game. The only thing I worry about is going to be a lot of people on that side because anytime Northwestern plays, it's under. Duke plays, it's under. Manny Diaz is going to shut down Northwestern, man. They only scored 3 points in the first half and 10 points in the second half against Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio was decent team. I really like their coach, but they're from the MAC. They have no business stopping a Big Ten team and holding to those type of points. But we've seen over the years before, Northwestern really just struggles on offense. Their quarterback was 18 to 30, man. And you can't win games with your quarterback going 18 to 30. I don't know if Mike Wright is the guy for Northwestern, but I know Malik Murphy can play. We've seen him at Texas really play well as well. So I'll be on Duke. You know I am on Friday night games, catching +2.5, +3. I think it'll be a lot like that Coastal Carolina game where they put that number out there and dangle it, hoping that you take the home team, and the road team is a much better team. So I'll definitely be on Duke +2.5, and I also take Duke money line.
All right, it's time for me to act like a tennis ball being hit against the wall and bounce back. It's the ball and parlay.
Yes,
I'm going to go to the kickoff tomorrow night of the NFL season. And while I've bet them both, the play that I like the most, if I can only play one, I'm playing the under in that game. I just think that the Ravens are going to recommit to the run. And we've seen how this works, right? There's things that we always like for unders, and I think we're hitting all 3 of them. We like primetime games. Those usually go under, right? We like games where we expect both teams to run the ball. Those are most likely to go under. And also games with a playoff atmosphere. And with this rematch, right, it's not like New England, Cincinnati, where, hey, they're going to go out and they both want to win. But this is a real rivalry. Both teams are going to be up for each other, and they have plenty of tape against their specific teams. All this leads me to believe that the under is the way to go tomorrow night. 5-star, what's your play?
I'm going to be on Money Mahomes. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs -3. I think that they cover against the Ravens. I think that they're going to be excited, and I think they're going to be really motivated. And also, I want to take Navarro with the games against Sabalenka. I think Navarro is going to stir it up. I think the games is what spread 4.5, 5.5,
4.5.
I mean Navarro with the games. I think Navarro can win a set in this one. She's played Sabalenka really well. Navarro's that girl when it comes to the American women, in my opinion. I've been on her a while, and I think that she's going to show up really well at the U.S. Open. I don't know if she wins, but I think she keeps it close enough. So give me Navarro plus the games in that one if it's 4.5. Push it up to 5.5 if you can get it. Take the plus 5.5 games from Navarro. See her maybe losing 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, 7-5 or something like that. And also, as I said, we're rolling with Mr. Mahomes at -3. I think that Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo get it done against the Ravens.
Sino, give me your pick.
It seemed like we all gonna be in the same game. I'm taking the Ravens +3. We're gonna ride with that, and if you can buy it up, +3.5 should be -130, 140 max, something of that nature. We riding Lamar Jackson, man. New team, well, new running back, new big weapon. I feel the big boy gonna come out there. They gonna put that ball on the ground. And Kansas City gonna try to keep it in the air. Defense will step up a little bit, so we ride with the 3.5.
Going opposite there, we'll see who has the bragging rights when we come back on Friday, and that's going to be a fun show, 5-star, because we're going to be breaking down the full NFL slate for the Sunday, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts because Tyler and I had a debate, and I was on the Houston Texans in that opener. I can't wait to talk about that one some more. But go ahead, take us out of here.
Hey guys, we really appreciate you for tuning in. We try to bring you guys all this information in a timely manner. We'll be back with you guys on Friday. Once again, hit the like button because it's always us versus the machine. We do it for the underground and the underdogs, man. And if you're one of those guys who really support the show love by also hitting that like button. For Sino, Royale, for Spreaders there, I'm 5-star in Vegas, and I dedicate this show as always to the greatest Houston sports fan that I know, and that's my father, John H. Lindsay. This is the Wagering World. I'll see you on Friday.